Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Mr. Nawaf. Good evening.
How are you, Architect Hammad? How is everything?
Everything is okay. Thank you very much. Good to see you again.
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Thank you for you and thank you for your time. I believe in Islamabad now it's 11 p.m.
Yes, it's 11 p.m., but because of Ramzan and because of lockdown, it's not very late.
Ya Rab, inshallah soon things will be, we're back and Allah يتقبل الصيام بحوله تعالى. طيب, Architect Hamid, well, first of all, thank you so much for your time and joining us, and let us enjoy the beautiful information that you're going to tell us in a bit now. I would like you to tell us who is Architect Hamid first.
Hammad. Well, I am, as you know, a Pakistani architect. I studied architecture in Turkey. That was way back 25 years ago. And since then, I have been practicing in Islamabad. And then I went into teaching in academia. So I have been in academia for the last 10 years. And just recently, like 2 years ago, I started my own education institute of higher education. So I'm trying to run my own institute. And we have also founded an architects body called League of Architects Pakistan. So I am also involved with that. In fact,
great.
The president of the body.
Great, excellent. But tell us, Architect Hamid, that you are involved with Al Fawzan Awards. Is that right?
That's right. I was involved as a technical reviewer in the last cycle, and I technically reviewed 3 mosques, 2 in Indonesia and 1 in Malaysia. So it was a wonderful experience working for the Al Fawzan Award, and the cycle is still not over because of this lockdown. So we are still waiting for the final ceremony to take place.
Inshallah, it will be soon, inshallah. طيب, today we're going to talk about Masjid al-Sabur. Is that right?
That's
right. Before we talk about Masjid al-Sabur, could you tell us about the architect who designed this mosque, Masjid al-Sabur?
Okay, so this Baitus Shobur Mosque, it's in a small town in the province of Lampung, which is in the island of Sumatra. And the architect is Mr. Isandra Mateen Ahmad, who is a fairly well-known architect of Indonesia. And I believe he runs a good large practice. Unfortunately, I could not meet him because our schedules did not tally, but I got to exchange emails with them and I got some data from them. So, and then of course I visited the mosque as part of technical review.
I see. So you went and you visited the mosque, right?
That's right.
Great. Right. Before we go to the mosque, if you don't mind, I have some picture. I would love everyone to look at his design in his house. So I'm gonna now show first his design, and if I'm not mistaken, I find some pictures of his own house, and let me just show it to them right now. So I'm gonna flip this. Okay, so this is the architect who designed the mosque, right?
That's right.
Okay, and this is one of his projects, and if I'm not mistaken, that this is his house.
I am not aware of his house because I have not seen it, but
okay,
it looks like.
Yes, and what I see from these pictures that he used lots of concrete, lots of columns, and I could see some wood flooring, and he have these like squares opening. So it reminds me a bit of the mosque, which is we're going to see right now. So now we're going to go to the to the mosque itself, this is a picture. It's like the history of the location of the mosque. So could you share with us the location? And I could see some lake around it. And where is it exactly? Like, is it a residential area or?
Actually, this mosque it's in a small town.
Mm-hmm.
And before I continue, I can see some messages. I think there's some sound problem. Can you hear me properly, or is the sound weak?
Myself, I can hear you, but your voice is a little bit low. Could you, is it, could you maybe, the volume, is it low in your phone?
No, the volume seems fine. Okay, I'll try and speak a little louder.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, so this mosque is in a small town, which is mostly residential, and it does not have um, any big buildings or commercial areas.
Mm-hmm.
And so yes, and this entire what you're showing on the screen, this
Yeah.
is a man-made lake.
Okay, so
And
this is, uh-huh.
yeah, this lake is man-made. It was designed by the architect.
Okay,
And before this was built, there was an important building there, which is the Islamic Center.
I see.
And yes, so once this project was conceived,
Yeah,
the architect designed the mosque, and he designed the lake, and also the landscaping and a little bit of plantation. So this entire project is basically the Islamic Center, the mosque, the lake, and the landscaping. So
I see.
that is the highlight of that town.
Okay, so the architect, he designed not only the mosque, he designed the lake and the surrounding of the lake, which is, I could see some greenery and parks. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay, from
that's
this
right.
picture, I could see some building, but if you don't mind, is the Islamic Center, the one you were mentioning it?
Yes, the Islamic Center, yes, that is the horizontal building, and
Uh,
it is made in a traditional Indonesian style with wood and bamboos. And it's a more of a horizontal building, like most traditional buildings.
I see.
And right next to it, in the screen that you're showing, is
Mm-hmm.
this tall structure, which is the white tall structure, and it's
Yeah,
in complete contrast to the Islamic Center, because that one is traditional wood, bamboo, and this mosque is vertical, and it's fair-faced concrete, and it's a very imposing structure. So it's in total contrast to the Islamic Center, and that is what the architect also wanted in his concept, that he wanted to create a contrast.
I see. I see. That's nice. That's nice. Excellent. So tell me, in this little village, the one you mentioned, this is the only concrete building it's around that neighborhood, or there is another concrete building?
This is the only one, because
I
all the entire neighborhood is traditional houses.
I
And
see.
by traditional houses, most of them are single story with sloping roofs. So it's a small town, as I said. So it's not a very developed area. So this
Okay.
mosque stands out totally in that area. Like it's something very new there. And
I
I think
see.
that is exactly what the concept was, to have something very imposing.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Now we're going to go to the other slide, which is showing us more into detail, which is, if I'm not mistaken, this is the tower of the white building we saw. And I could see here the section of the ground floor, if that's right.
That's right.
Okay. So the building started from that point to this point, this is the mosque area.
Yes.
Okay. What about that roof and columns, is it sort of like the entrance to the mosque?
Yes. Okay, so if you keep the slide on this section, this is a very
Okay.
important section to understand this mosque.
Okay.
Sorry, the other one where we were.
Okay.
Yes. So basically, it is a horizontal shape, which is the prayer hall, which we can see in this section. And on top of that is a vertical tower.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay.
Now, the prayer hall is that strip, the horizontal strip that you see at the bottom. Yes, that is the prayer hall. And the vertical is the form of the mosque. It does not have a function. The only function it has is that you can also see in this drawing, on the top of the roof, there are 99 openings which can bring in light. And those 99 openings represent Asma al-Husna, which is the 99 names of Allah. So in a dark day, when there's sun and the inside of the mosque is dark, and if you look up from the prayer hall, you can see light coming in from those 99 openings, and it creates 99 shadows on the floor.
I see. I see, which is going to be reflected to that flooring area here.
That's right. That's right.
Great. And we're going to see it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. But this tower is mostly designed for the shape, the form of the mosque. Number one.
See.
And number two, if we read the concept of the architect, he also said that this tower is a combination of a dome and a minaret, which were traditional mosque elements. So he has combined those two important elements into one. And instead of having a separate dome kind of a thing or a separate tower, this entire mosque is in the shape of a minaret.
I see. I see. Tell me the height. Vertical. I see. The height of this tower is 30 meters. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Does it stand for this number 30 for something like 30 days or?
Well, okay. That's a very good question, because the basic concept of this mosque is based on Islamic numerology, numbers. And this 30 derives from the 30 chapters of the Holy Quran. And similarly, the architect has employed a lot of other numbers inside the mosque also. Like, for example, he has 114 columns, which represents the number of surahs in the Holy Quran.
Interesting. And if you don't mind, I'm going to change the slide. I'm going to go to another slide.
Yes.
This is the columns?
These are the columns. So these are 114 in number.
Okay. And this area, which is, if I'm not mistaken, which is that area where is this void opening?
That's right.
I see.
Right. This area is where the tower goes up.
Okay. Okay. And just a question. This facade, is it open to the lake, the one you were telling us about?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So the inside of the mosque is, as we saw in the section, it's a very horizontal, low height prayer hall. I think it's 8 to 9 feet high. And all sides are open. There are no windows. There's no glass.
Okay.
It's totally open, and two sides overlook the lake.
Two sides. Okay.
Two sides, yes.
Okay.
So the two sides. One is the mihrab side, which is the front side, and the right-hand side. They overlook the lake, the man-made lake.
Very nice. If you don't mind, I'm going to go to the other slide. Is that fine?
No, please.
Okay. So this is the exterior. And here we could see part of the lake. And if I'm not mistaken, this is where you just mentioned it's an Islamic center.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the lake, and then this is like part of the garden. It's
Yes, this is also man-made, by the way. This was part of the design,
perfect. And
this entire greenery.
okay.
Okay, now this is also a very important slide.
Mm-hmm.
This is the courtyard,
Yeah,
and uh, as you can see, the courtyard is divided in such a way that there are the saf, the aisles, and the trees and the green area divided into aisles. So the overflow in the mosque can come out in the courtyard, and it can accommodate a lot of people.
I see. I see. And this is um one, which is this one is right up here, right?
Yes,
Okay,
it's
which
the
is
entrance.
this is the entrance. Okay, so this one elevation, one side, and the other side from this side that look to the lake, right?
That's right.
Perfect. So we're gonna go to the other slide, which is showing us two side of the building, which is towards the lake side, right?
Yes, that's right.
Excellent.
Uh,
طب mhm. I want to ask
yes,
you, Engineer Hamid, this manara, it's attached to this tower, is that right?
this is a single monolithic structure, this entire
Mm-hmm.
thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it represents a minara.
I see, which is we can see it here in a different angle picture that we could see the manara with the structure with the tower.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, and now we're going to go to this slide, which is here we could see the 99 round opening of where the light comes from, right?
Yes, yes. This picture is looking up towards the tower, the right one.
Okay. طب, tell me, Engineer Hamid, أنا when I'm looking at the picture from the exterior is concrete, and now we are بالinterior as well. If I'm not mistaken, we could see as well a concrete material.
It's all concrete. It
And
is the
what's
entire
behind?
mosque in
Yeah.
fair-faced concrete. Yes.
Okay. And what's behind using the concrete?
Well, according to the architect, Mr. Mateen, um, concrete represents honesty and purity of material and also strength. These are the
Nice.
three words that he used.
I see. I see. Nice. And
And let me add to this that this is the very concept that was also part of the Western modern movement in the early 20th century, that
okay.
purity of material was considered honesty of material,
I see.
fair face.
I see. And as well, I could read a bit of the school of the Japanese architect, Tango Andro. Is it?
Tadao
Am I?
Ando.
Yeah.
Tadao Ando. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Tadao Ando, yes, it's a very good comparison because he also, most of his buildings are also in fair-faced, bare concrete
I
and
see.
very simple. So yes, we can draw comparisons in this, and there will be another comparison when we talk about the the mihrab wall. I will
Mm.
also come back to Tadao Ando again on that.
Okay, I'm gonna go to this is another slide that's showing, I think it's the prayer area. And this is the lake outside?
Yes, that is the lake. And in fact, this photograph is showing the mihrab wall. Like this is where the direction of the Kaaba is.
Ah, and
And the person that you can see, he's standing almost in the front row.
okay. And tell me, at the end of this room, there is nothing. It's directly to the lake, right?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
that's right.
okay. Interesting. And what about this drop wall right up here and stopped?
Okay, so the two sides, in fact, on all four sides, there is a drop beam. Now, as you can see in this photograph, you can see the scale of the mosque.
Yes.
Uh, so when a person is standing and when he's praying, when he's standing, the beam obstructs his view of the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And that somehow it's a good thing, because it cuts you off from the world. You cannot see the road, you cannot see the shops, you cannot see the activity going on outside. So that way you sort of, the beam allows you to just be in the prayer hall and just involved in your prayer without being distracted by the outside.
I see. I see. That's interesting. That's interesting. And what about the ceiling? I could see some reflection, like a mirror, or it's a steel with like um, Arabic calligraphy.
The ceiling is also part of the concept of the architect. It is made of reflective metal,
Mm-hmm.
the entire ceiling. And
Okay.
on on the ceiling is again the 99 names of Allah, the Asma al Husna. They are inscribed on the reflective ceiling. So there are two concepts to this. The architect's concept was that he wants that when you're praying, and if you look up, you should be able to reflect upon yourself, because you will see
Mm-hmm.
the reflection. And when you
Okay.
look up, you see the 99 names of Allah on it.
I see. I see. I see. Nice. Okay, we're going to go to the other slide, which is right up here. We could see uh, more or less the mosque right up here. And this is the ceiling, the one you were just telling us. And this is the columns.
Yes.
And this is the opening of the, all the way up to
Tower.
the, mm-hmm.
Opening of the tower.
And, okay. Tell me, this material on the of, is it a reflection of the flooring?
No, these inside the tower. Oh, okay. Yes, on the ceiling, it is the reflection of everything because it's mirror. It's a
I
reflective
see.
metal.
It is the flooring wood
Flooring is wood and carpet.
completely.
That's right. Yes.
Interesting. And this picture is showing us with them like sort of like a spotlight and the indirect light. I could see it around.
This picture is these people that we see, they are directly under the tower, which goes up 30 meters. And on the top right-hand corner, you can see a little bit of the reflective ceiling.
Yes, right up here.
Yes.
But tell me, is this corner represent the direction of al-mihrab, al-qibla, or it just a design?
No, this is just a design. This
Okay.
is, in fact, this tower has 5 sides to it. And when
Mm-hmm.
it goes up, it becomes 4 sides. So these 5 sides also represent the 5 prayers in a day.
Interesting. 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 Okay. Now we're gonna go to this slide that we could see from outside. This picture, is it when they were working on the tower when they did it?
Yes, I believe so. It
Yes.
must
And
be,
this,
because when I went there, it was not like this.
I see. And this is the opening of the mosque from inside that looks directly to the lake.
That's right. Yes.
And
That's the
this
drop beam. You can also see the drop beam there.
exactly, which is right up here. And this one is the entrance, the one you just mentioned to us when we go to the mosque.
Yes. Now this entrance is also very different, that it is on a side. So you don't enter the mosque right from the center, which used to be the case in the traditional mosques. In this mosque, you enter from the side, and as you are walking towards the mosque, the lake is on your right side and the courtyard is on your left side, and it's a colonnaded structure which leads you straight into the mosque.
I see. I see. Okay, now we're going to go to the other slide, which is this one that we could see at night with the beautiful uplights in the sky and the reflection to the lake.
Yes. Okay,
Interesting.
so as you, this slide is a very good example of what the mosque looks like at night. It looks even better at night. And I think I did not mention till now that this entire project of the lake, of the landscaping, and these two buildings, this is a very important attraction for the locals.
Okay.
A lot of the locals, they come here because the lake is a very good attraction for them, and then the landscaping is very interesting. There are lawns, there's rockery, and there's a plantation. So in the evening, when the weather gets good, I went there in summers. So this place is full of local residents who come to enjoy
Nice.
the land. And at night, this is the view that you get. So this Baitus Shobur Mosque is totally lit up, and it stands out like a huge monument.
Interesting. Interesting. But Architect Hamid, I just want to ask you, when I look at this picture, I could see like law angles right up here. Is it related to this traditional building, or it's just
I know I don't think he has tried the architect. I don't think the architect has tried to pick up something from the traditional building.
I
Um,
see.
I think his form is indigenous.
Okay. Type. Okay, now I'm gonna flip the camera to me. Do you wanna explain anything on the slide, Architect Hamid?
No, I think we can talk, and if
Okay.
maybe we can go back.
Okay, good. So I would like to ask you, Architect Hamid, first of all, thank you for the lovely information. Yourself, you told us you've been there, you visited the site.
Yes.
Okay. You as an architect, mashallah, with your experience, with what you're doing, how was your feeling?
That's a very difficult question. Well, when I saw this project, when I was asked to visit it, I was very curious because the photographs were very intriguing. And then I checked this area in the Google map, and even in Google Maps, the geometry was very different. It was interesting geometry, the way they've done the pathways and the connections, and the way they've used acute angles. And when I went there, it took us 2 hours from the nearest town. So the first look is awe-inspiring because suddenly this huge structure looms in front of you when you're approaching it. And so the first impression is very impressive. And then you cannot help but notice the stark contrast between the Islamic Center and the mosque because they are totally contrasting. And the good thing is that they are tied together with the lake ties them together. So you can tell that they're part of the same complex, but yet they speak very different languages. So my first impression was I was impressed. But of course, there were some issues also that I experienced when I went inside the mosque. It was a bit of an anticlimax because the scale suddenly reduced. You see, what hit me the first time was the scale of the building, and
Okay.
especially a mosque, which is, this is a very different kind of a mosque in the sense
Mm-hmm.
that it's a huge structure which goes 30 feet up. So somehow the inside was a little cramped, and the concept was good, the way the architect has connected the interior with the nature. And that is where I wanted to come back to Tadao Ando, that he has a project called Church on the Water,
Mm-hmm.
which also that the front wall is completely glass. And when you sit in the church, you can see the mountains, and you can see the snow, if there's snow, and the trees. So you connect with nature. So that is a similar concept in this mosque, that when you're praying and when you look in front, so you don't see a wall. Basically, you see a lake, and behind the lake, you see trees and birds. So you feel that you're part of nature. So that is a very good concept. But I just wish that the opening were a little bigger, and if the ceiling height was a little higher, it would have given a very good feeling. So, the ceiling is at 8 feet. That slightly cramps you.
But do you think architect Hamid, he have something behind this, what you call it, the panoramic view? Is it relate the panoramic view with his architecture or his design for the interior?
The panoramic view is very good, but it's like a very linear form. It's like a strip through which you have to see. What my feeling was that I wish, let's call that a window. I wish the window was higher.
I
You
see.
could see, you could get a more panoramic view, to borrow your word.
So tell me, when you entered and you walked around, where is, as you mentioned, the ceiling is low, and this is like there's a reflection ceiling with the steel, and suddenly you went under the huge menorah and tower. The one is 30-meter high. Do you feel the difference? Is it like scary, or is it like shocking for you?
Actually, the first impression. Okay, I'll try and explain it. You see, outside, if the sun is out, there's a lot of light and there's a lot of glare because of water. So from that light, when you enter, the mosque is very dark. Why is it dark? Because it is deliberately been kept dark by the architect because of his concept. And his concept was that he wanted to highlight the light coming from the tower. So that concept works when the sun is up. You can see 99 spots of light on the floor. But when the sun is not there, then the mosque becomes dark. And especially if you're coming from the outside, number one. And number two, when you look out through the strips, the openings, again, there's a lot of glare coming in because it's reflecting off the water. And that makes the mosque feel even darker. So I was there for a few hours, and many times when I looked out and then I looked back in, my eyes would not adjust to the darkness, and I would wish that I could switch on a light. It seemed dark. Maybe that is deliberate, but I just felt that with the low ceiling and darkness, it was a little uncomfortable.
Okay.
And as your question was about the tower, and when you go in the middle of the mosque and you look up, so there's this huge tower going up, and you can see those 99 lights, and one cannot help but wonder why that tower is there. I mean, of course, I had read it, so I knew, but I'm just thinking from the point of view of a visitor who just walks into the mosque. He would definitely think, what is the function of this tower? And unfortunately, there is no function.
Oh.
I wish there was a function, like, for example, ventilation, or maybe, cross ventilation and letting the warm air out, or some sort of a bringing in air in. But it's a closed tower. The light punctures are fixed. So it is a dark tower. It gives an interesting feeling, but it doesn't have a function.
Okay.
And that is the main element of the mosque.
I see. Okay. The mosque, all of us, we know, we go for a pray, we need a toilet for a wudu or to use the toilet. Where is the location of this toilet area, wudu area? Is it close to that building, or it's completely?
It is these extra spaces are placed well by the architect. If we look at the plan, the toilets and the administrative areas are right next to the courtyard on one side.
Okay, I'm gonna open the plan of the
yes.
of the location so we could look at it. If you don't mind, I'm gonna flip again so we see it together.
Sure.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so now I have here is written basement, if I'm not mistaken. I could see some stairs take me down. And this is the ground floor.
Yes.
But is the public toilet right up here, or it's maybe we could see it from a different?
No, these plans are building plans. Do you have a site plan?
Okay, let me just see, just a minute. I'm gonna see. This is the entrance where you told us, the main entrance, and this is the entrance again. This is the mosque.
I think I can explain in this
This one.
this
Okay.
This courtyard one.
This one.
Yes.
Okay,
This is
go
the
ahead.
courtyard.
Yeah.
So this, if you imagine this courtyard, on one side of the courtyard is the mosque, and on the other side, on the left side of the courtyard, is the toilets and the office and the administration area. They're all these auxiliary spaces on one side, and mosque is on the other side, and lake is on the third side.
I see. I see. And is it had been designed something related to this beautiful architectural, spiritual architectural, the toilet, or it's something just public toilets?
No, they're simpler. They're much more. They're simple.
I see. I see. I'm gonna show before we end it. This is like another picture for the courtyard, the one you just mentioned to us, which is, I believe, the toilet and the offices is right up here, and this is the entrance of the mosque from here, right?
Absolutely. That's right.
Great, great, excellent, excellent. يعني Architect Hamid, عن جد, thank you so much. يعني all what I could say that you're lucky you visited this place. Hopefully, Al-Fawzan Award, they will make for us a trip to these beautiful architectural buildings. And
yes. No, it was a very interesting experience, and I was lucky that I had somebody with me who could translate, because nobody spoke English in this small town, and so I got to speak to a lot of people who were there outside in the park, of all ages. There were couples, there were grandfathers, there were kids. So I spoke to them through the interpreter, and many of them are happy with the building in the sense that they say this is a landmark, and it is actually a landmark. Yes, one can debate that how it fares as a mosque, how it fares, etc. I mean, we got different opinions, but everybody was unanimous in saying that it represents the town where it is located, and it is a very important landmark which also shines at night. And I think the park is something which is the center of attraction for the town, and a lot of people come there. Unfortunately, I mean, with your permission, I can say a few negative things also about the mosque. I actually did a survey there with people there. And it said that my survey said that out of say 100 people, 60 people only come for the park and the landscape, and 40 go inside the mosque.
I see.
So yes, the entire project attracts people, but very few, I wouldn't say very few, 40% were those who said we actually go to pray. The other said that we come here to enjoy the park and the environment.
I see. I see.
And
I see.
so that was one thing. And the other one was that I tried asking some old people. I said, what do you think of this different mosque design? So I got some very interesting answers. One or two people who were old, I especially asked older people because they're more traditional. And they said, it doesn't look like a mosque, but we like it. So there was some contradiction in what they were saying. So they generally liked the building. But they said, some of them said, oh, we wish there was a minaret in it. So I tried to explain to them that, listen, the entire mosque is supposed to be a minaret. They said, no, we want a minar. We want a traditional minaret. So, of course, that is true for, I'm sure, all countries where people want to see traditional mosques. But now, in a lot of countries, very bold mosque designs have started to come up, which are not necessarily a dome and an arch and a minaret. So in that way, this is a very bold attempt.
Yes. وبعدين at the end, architect Hamid, anywhere we could go and pray. But you're right. Sometimes we're used to we need a sign that this is a mosque. But mashallah, the building itself is different. is very spiritual, but let's call it, and it's attract, let us sort of like come to it, and we're looking forward for that. And I really appreciate it, Architect Hammad, for your time, and sorry for the delay. I know it's different 3 hours between us and Islamabad, and looking forward to come and visit it with you, and you give us a beautiful tour as well.
Oh yes, you're most welcome to come to Islamabad. It's a
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and looking forward to see you soon. And I'm just going to inform the follower that the video of this coverage of this episode, it will be on the Instagram and the Facebook of Al Fawzan Awards, and they have it as well. And all the information is available on Instagram and website of Al Fawzan. And thank you again, Al Fawzan, and thank you for you. And looking forward to see you soon. And I will tell them we'll see them tomorrow for the other mosque, inshallah, and we're gonna announce it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nawaf.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Shukran lakum. Thank you. Bye bye. شكرا للجميع، جزاكم الله خير. وان شاء الله احنا بكره معاكم بالمسجد اللي بعد حلقه اليوم، اللي هو حيكون رقم 6 ان شاء الله، وبكره حنكون في بنغلاديش، وانتظركم ان شاء الله. وشكرا، واتمنى يكون نال اعجابكم. وفي صفحه الفوزان اووردز جميع المعلومات موجوده، سواء من مخططات بلان او من صور فوتوغرافي وديسكريبشن about the mosque and وايضا عن المهندس المعماري اللي موجود. شكرا لكم وشكرا لوقتكم، واشوفكم بكره الساعه 5 ان شاء الله. تسلموا.